Hi there, Kirsty here from Uploans, and I was chatting with one of our brokers in the office today who's in the process of applying for a second mortgage to assist some lovely clients of hers with having a guarantor help them out. So I thought I'd just do a quick video today which explains what that actually is and how it can be helpful, and also some of the risks or cons associated with that. So first of all, second mortgage. The name of it's really quite a good explanation. What it means is that there's already a first mortgage on the property, and we want to apply to a bank to put a second mortgage there. So let's say, for example, you have a guarantor who wants to help out a lovely, let's say their son and their son's partner in terms of helping them get into their first home. Let's say mum and dad have their home loan at NAB. Now, NAB don't offer guarantor loans, but the bank that the kids want to go to is happy to look at putting a second mortgage behind mum and dad's property. So that means on mum and dad's property, the first mortgage is held by NAB, and that takes precedence. If there's any issues whatsoever, NAB is going to be paid first. And then if the other bank that want to do the guarantor lending are happy to put a second mortgage behind there, what that means is that they're utilizing some of the equity in that property to basically be able to help the guarantor kids in terms of getting them into that property. Now, it's the second mortgage, so it's riskier than the first mortgage. And what it means is in the case of a sale, NAB are going to get paid first, and then the second lender would get paid second if there was a foreclosure sale or something like that. So the first risk is that you have to deal with two banks in this process, and that can be really time consuming, because what's going to happen is the bank that you're applying for your home loan through with your broker is not going to reach out to that bank that have the first mortgage until such time as you've got a contract and they've been through and they've assessed and approved the deal. So that takes the time that it takes. Then they have to reach out to the other lender, and then the other lender has to give the go ahead. So typically speaking, you're at risk of the deal not being approved completely until both banks have said yes, and obviously delivered all of the paperwork in regards to that. So usually speaking, there needs to be a longer finance time frame, and you need to check with your solicitor to make sure that you're protected. Then you have all of the normal sort of pros and cons of guarantor lending. So what we're going to do is we're going to link to the video on our guarantor information below this. So a whole other side of things to sort of refer to there. So as far as it being one of those things where two banks have to approve it, it being more time consuming, there can typically be more fees associated because you're dealing with more lenders, more mortgage registration charges, which means more fees upfront and more fees to discharge. You can also come across the fact that there are fewer of these deals happening. So sometimes the bank staff that are handling it haven't had to do too many second mortgages, so they may not be as experienced at dealing with it. Same thing, a lot of brokers haven't got experience dealing with second mortgages as well. So there can be an inexperienced side of things which can slow things down or make it more complicated. So those are the major pros and cons of looking at a second mortgage. Reach out to your broker if you have any questions or queries. As always, take appropriate needs to sort of protect yourself, get some legal advice, and just make sure that finance clauses in contracts are protecting you adequately.